wagon and head down to Bennett Springs or Montauk, which, by the way, is where the First Lady and I will be Monday morning to kick off trout season. I spent many hours learning to read those rivers, learning to tie a fly good enough to fool a trout. That kindled my love of the outdoors, which I passed along to my sons, and I hope they'll pass along to theirs. We need to get more Missouri kids off the couch, away from their video games, and back into the outdoors. That's just what I intend to do. Earlier this week, I was in Babbler and Watkins Mill State Parks to roll out my Missouri State Parks Youth Corps program. We'll be putting more than 1,000 young people to work this summer at our 85 state parks and historic sites. That includes our newest state park, the Current River State Park. Georgianne and I, and #1 dog, Daniel Boone, will be stopping by there on Sunday along with our outstanding parks director, Bill Bryant, if we can get him away from fishing for just a few short hours. Now, this Elite Parks Youth Corps will learn to be good stewards of the land from the ground up, cutting brush, building trails, and picking up trash. They'll also be outdoor ambassadors in our effort to reverse a 10-year decline in the number of visitors to our beautiful, affordable state parks. More visitors to our parks will pump more money into our tourism industry and help rev up this economy. According to the CVM Business Alliance, the total impact on Missouri's economy from fish, wildlife, outdoor recreation, and forest products was about $11.4 billion in 2008. That accounted for 95,000 jobs with $2.9 billion in job earnings. That is real cash. For families who love the outdoors, there's just no better deal around than our state parks. Now we got to spread the word. If you like to kayak or fish, bird watch or mountain bike, come to the Show Me State first. That is a testament to the historic and ongoing work of this Conservation Federation. It was conceived during the Great Depression at a low point in U.S. conservation history. Unregulated hunting, fishing, and trapping, and the abuse of forests had left Missouri's natural resources in deplorable shape. A group of Missouri sportsmen, unhappy with what they saw, and inspired by the ideas and the writings of a great biologist and outdoorsman, Aldo Leopold, devised a solution as simple as it was revolutionary. They drafted a constitutional amendment, creating a non-political conservation agency to be governed with the input of ordinary citizens according to sound principles of biology. Missouri voters approved it in a landslide. The list of accomplishments in the 75 years, both of these organizations are many. To name a few, the 1976 passage of a dedicated 1/8 cent sales tax for conservation, the Design for Conservation, a touchstone document whose principles are timeless and enduring, Operation Game Thief, Operation Forest Arson, the Stream Team, the Katy Trail, Wild and Scenic Rivers, the State Parks and Soils Conservation Tax, the Ozark Trail, and last but certainly not least, Share the Harvest. Now, I donated the meat from the doe I eventually shot last year to Share the Harvest. The one I wounded still remains for next year. It's a wonderful way for hunters to keep the Missouri hunting tradition alive, to help manage our white-tail herd, and to provide fresh, nutritious meat for our neighbors in need. This year, hunters in our state harvested and donated hundreds of thousands of pounds of venison for distribution to Missouri food banks. Knowing all the good this program does, I allocated $200,000 in Neighborhood Assistance Program funds to Share the Harvest so we can add more processors, increase donations of deer, and provide more meat to Missouri families in need, and in coming years we will. Conservation works best when the citizens are involved. That means building the broadest possible coalitions, which is just what this federation does so well. So here we are today, 75 years after 75 sportsmen put their stake in the ground and fought to restore Missouri's natural resources. What will Missouri look like 75 years from today? 100 or 200 years from now? What challenges lie ahead for us? One thing is certain. The work of conservationists in this century will be harder and more complex than the work we've done up to now. We are learning more every day about how natural systems work and interrelate. We must use that knowledge to create enlightened public policy. There is no doubt that the Federation will continue to play a key and lasting role in building consensus around the shared principles in order to reach our common goals. We also must set the bar higher than just conservation. It will not be enough to pass on this state in the same shape it is now. We need to make it better. The folks that came before us wanted to make it better. They have passed that torch to us. The National Assembly of Sportsmen's Caucuses has identified the loss of hunting land as a critical issue nationwide and is pushing for no net loss legislation in all 50 states. In our state, as in the rest of the nation, these lands are being converted from wildlife habitat to shopping malls and subdivisions at a rate of 2 acres a minute. Or nationwide, about 1.5 million acres a year. Whether or not there are any wild turkeys or quail left in our woods 75 years from now, or any otters or hellbenders in our streams 100 years from now, depends on what we do today. We can stand by and let sprawl write the requiem for our wildlife. Or we can follow the example of those 75 bold Federation thinkers 75 years ago and continue to take a stand. We'll have to find new ways to get a new generation of Missourians back to nature, to learn the lessons only nature can impart. That we are not alone in this world. That we share it briefly with other species with their own purpose, who have been here a lot longer than we have. And that our needs exist in the context of a greater whole. There are no other people anywhere in this state that can do more about the conservation challenges facing Missourians than the people in this room. There are no other folks who can do more to fulfill our God-given charge to be good stewards of the fish of the waters, the birds of the air, and the beasts of the field, and the folks right here tonight. And the Conservation Federation will continue to serve as a rallying point, uniting and empowering a new generation of citizen conservationists, inspiring them to innovate and take action, and defending the funding for the Missouri Department of Conservation, Department of Natural Resources, Parks, and Soils. So quite simply, as your governor, I thank each and every one of you for all you have done and all you will do to protect the beauty and the bounty of the Show Me State. God bless us in our work, and God bless the state of Missouri. Thank you very much.